the Christians use to say God deals with everybody, or the Lord loves everybody, or once you believe, or you could be from another seed. So, all right, or you can be from some volume or something like this. It's kind of correct. All right, or you could be from another seed. All right, so
that's the one.
One, yeah, that's fine. No, let me bring this closer. All right, or you could be from another seed. So let's start with Luke chapter 10. All right, give me Luke 10 first, and you're gonna start at 25. All right, Luke 10 and 25, please.
Luke, the book of Luke, chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He said unto him, what is written in the law, how readest thou? Verse 27. And he answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength.
Right. So now, what's important to understand here with what he just said? What is important that you should understand? Go ahead, supply.
It's like that, there's no money that you can give. It's you are the sacrifice.
Before all of that. Before that, read it one more time for the brother. You read it, because he going to the door.
In context, you mean?
That's what we're reading. We're reading the context.
All right.
Read it one more time. From
Luke,
25.
Luke chapter chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? Verse 26. He said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou? Verse 27. And he answered, saying, he answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself.
What is important? What we see in there that's noteworthy?
He's asking Christ, and Christ is talking to him.
I mean, that's basic. A little more than that.
He's asking what to do to inherit the kingdom.
That's definitely a question. I need some more.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get what you asked.
No, okay. From what we read, right? There's something very noteworthy to take. Meaning, it's worthy to take note of that. It's already evident he's asking Christ a question. It's already evident he's asking him about the law. There's something else there is noteworthy. Barack?
So, like, I might have been off with it. I was going to say Christ's response to it. After we already put out the question of eternal life, but in order to get that, Christ said the first Christ's response to that question could have been anything, but he focused it on the law.
No.
The guy's a lawyer. He's rich.
Yes. You have to see that. You can't gloss over that. Like we're going to say.
I'm going over the correct response. So.
No. The response here is not as important as who's asking the question. Because who's asking the question is going to tell you why the person asking the question. Right. Read it again from the
top. Luke chapter 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him.
And did what?
And tempted him.
Is this asking a question? You cannot gloss over that. So Christians gloss over. So the whole argument about the Gentiles is really something they're trying to come up against Christ with, because this is what they use. It says right here, this lawyer wasn't necessarily rich, but lawyer meaning this was a man who studied the law, like a Christian preacher, or somebody who went to theology school. All right, that's what a lawyer here would be, or a doctor of the law. You understand? That's who it would be. He didn't come to get knowledge from Christ. He came to tempt Christ, to try to trip Christ up, to come up against him,
Right.
to get him to say something that would give them an excuse to put Christ to death.
Right.
You get the point? Just like people come up to the camp. Y'all got guns, let's go take the kingdom. We're gonna rape their women like they rape ours. They're gonna say those things in an argument with you to get you to say something stupid. Right. So now you could be charged with something. Right. You get me? You can't gloss over that. Read it again from the top.
Come. Luke 10, verse 25. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tempted him, saying, Master, what shall I do to inherit eternal life?
Right.
Verse 26. And he said unto him, what is written in the law? How readest thou? Verse 20.
And that's why Christ asked him about the law. That's why he answered like that. Because he's like, well, you tell me. You the lawyer. You understand? And Christ already see them coming with the bullshit. Right. So he's like, well, you tell me, how do you read this? What does the law say? You get the point? You tell me, what does it say? Because he already knows he's coming with this love everybody bullshit. Right. You get the point? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 27. And he answering said, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Also, too, right here, this lawyer was not from another nation. How you know that?
He told him to love the Lord, but just to follow the laws.
Something else. Something tighter. And Christ didn't tell him that. He's telling Christ that. So that's that. Okay, he's answering Christ's question. Anybody could say that.
Because he's asking, like he even has a chance to have eternal life.
A couple of weeks after, them heathens came up and asked what they could do to get mercy. You remember that? Right.
The fact that he was a lawyer, Christ knew that he was a lawyer, like he knew of the law. That person knew of the law.
That's true, but was how you proving that?
That he knew of the law.
That him knowing the law means he's an Israelite.
Would you pull Psalms 47?
Yeah, Psalms 147:19. Somebody pull it real quick, all right?
Double good.
You would need that because, of course, they're going to say this was a heathen that came up, or this was somebody fighting on behalf of the heathen, when this was a Christian preacher today, right? Your typical Al Sharpton, your Creflo Dollar, your T.D. Jakes, your Republican and Democrat representatives for whatever black city you're in. Right. This is them who know all the laws. They know right from wrong, but what you doing on the street threatens them. Right. Behind closed doors. Behind closed doors, they're asking, what you doing about them niggas on the street? Well, what's going on? You losing something? What's going on with these? All right, no problem. I'm going to handle that. And he goes down to ask Yahushua a question, hoping to tempt him, hoping to trip him up so that they could take him away.
Oh, God. I got the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
And that's what he would prove, because this is a lawyer who knows the law. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes unto Israel. This is an Israelite. This is a conversation between two Israelites. One is just Uncle Tom. Go ahead.
Verse. You said Psalm 47?
147.
147.
Psalms 147, 19 through 20, I believe. All right, go ahead.
Verse 20. He has not dealt so with any nation.
Right.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Right. He have not dealt so with any nation. There's no nation on the earth who the Lord has dealt with like how he dealt with Israel. You understand? The Asian man is not going to come up and know the law. The Arab, he's not going to come up and know the law. Israel. And that's who this lawyer is. All right? All right, let's go back to Luke 10. Whoever was reading.
27. Luke, chapter 10, verse 27. And he answering said, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy strength, and with all thy mind, and thy neighbor as thyself.
Right. So now he's answering Christ, and he that's the laws he put. You say, well, what is what does the Lord say? Christ said, well, you tell me what it says, and he pulled them precepts, right? Go ahead.
And he said unto him, thou hast answered right. This do, and thou shalt live.
Right, and he said, right, exactly. The Lord said, keep the laws concerning your brothers. You answered right. Do that, and you're going to live. Simple. Because he already knows this lawyer is not coming for information. This lawyer coming for something else. Right, go ahead.
Come. Verse 29. But he, willing to justify himself, said...
But what?
Willing to justify himself.
But what?
Willing to justify himself.
But he. Says, but he. Who's the he?
The lawyer.
The lawyer. He's willing to do what?
Justify himself.
What does that mean? Just think calm.
Now he trying to come up, like you said, some of them. Now he trying to come back.
No, he trying to come back. He trying to come back because now he think he have a point. Christ dismissing quick, easily. But his proud ass had to turn around with the brief bag, and he had to address it again. But he has to justify it. He has to be right. And you niggas with no job and beard and braids have to be wrong. You get the point? Go ahead. And once again, he's willing to justify himself, not the Lord, not the Bible, not the doctrine. He wants to make himself look right. You get the point, which is every Christian in battle at camp. Go ahead.
But he, willing to justify himself, said unto Jesus, and who is my neighbor?
And who is my neighbor? Why? Sound just like the Christians, right? And who is my neighbor? Since God said love everybody, who is my neighbor? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 30. And Jesus answering said,
this is where he goes in to a parable. Now he could have given it straight, but he's going to use this fool here to teach. You understand? He's going to totally use him to teach. So now he's going in and he's going to break something down. Go ahead.
And Jesus answering said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves.
Go ahead.
Which stripped him of his raiment.
Go ahead.
And wounded him and departed.
Shapat, you take the reading off from me, please.
Go. Luke 10, verse 30. And Jesus answered and said, a certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among thieves, which stripped him of his raiment and wounded him and departed, leaving him half dead. All
right, so this brother get robbed and beaten because he half dead. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 31. And by chance there came down a certain priest that way, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Verse 32.
So what happened when this priest showed up?
He avoided him.
He ignored him. Right? He ignored him. Just think big-headed niggas in DC. Right? They ignored him. Go on the other side. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 32. And likewise a Levite, when he was at the place, came and looked on him and passed by on the other side.
All right. So you say now this brother, he came and he actually looked, but he ain't do nothing. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 33. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him. Verse 34. And went to him and bound up his wounds, pouring in oil and wine, and set him on his own beast, and brought him to an inn, and took care of him.
So what happened here?
It's like what the bystander was Samaritan saw him and just basically helped him out, took him in and helped him out because he was hurt.
All right. Okay.
Complete sidebar question. But the inn, is that like a is that where hotel comes from?
An inn?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not really where a hotel comes from. I don't say that, but similar.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I can't say that for sure. I'm gonna put it like that.
Okay.
But an inn is, you know, there are things, some places they call them inns today too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, down there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, Slack. When it say set him on his own beast,
Meaning like he put him in his own car, the Samaritan's car.
right?
Remember, there ain't no cars, so the Samaritan, he coming down with his donkey or whatever, pulling. He picked this brother up, and instead of he riding on the beast, he put this brother on the car, or in the car, or on the beast, or you know, instead he inconvenienced himself for this brother, right? This Israelite here, right? Go ahead.
That's a wild way to say it.
Verse 35.
He set him on his own beast.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's a beast. It's we get kind of. That's why I'm going into this too, because the culture we take on is such an oppressor culture. We don't honor the beasts.
Right.
The dog sleep in the bed with you. Not you personally or any one of us, but you get the point. The dog don't sleep in the bed with you. Dog look in the goddamn mouth. It's a beast. It's not human. Right. The donkey is a beast. The horse is a beast. You get the point? What else he used to pull things? Donkey, horse, mule, ox is a beast. You get the point? He sat him, that's his beast. And okay, that's our culture too. That's, you know, that's how we talk. You know, it's, you know, that's a beast. It's like how we talk. You know, it's not their culture. You get the point? So it will sound foreign to us now, but when you really think about how we talk, you know, a brother might have a pit bull that's, or, you know, one of the big cane corso, and you will say, man, he have an animal in the back there.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Yeah, goldfish is an animal, but you saying it like that because of the type of thing he got back there. It's the same thing here. You know what I mean? Go ahead. No sweat, no sweat. Please.
Verse 35. And on the morrow, when he departed, he took out two pence and gave them to the host, and said unto him, take care of him, and whatsoever thou spendest more, when I come again, I will repay thee.
Right? Yeah, everybody understand that part, right?
Come.
The brother put a tab in the hotel for him. Right? He open a tab. He said, listen, take care of him. I'm paying you now. And if it exceeds the tab, when I come back, I'll handle the difference. Right? And go ahead.
Verse 36. Which now of these three thinkest thou was neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves?
Right? So Christ is now asking the lawyer, which one of these three is neighbor? Because the lawyer say, and whom do you consider a neighbor? Right? Go ahead.
Verse 37. And he said, he that shewed mercy on him. Then said Jesus unto him, go and do thou likewise.
All right. So now what happened here?
So you got a brother who came from Jericho. You got a brother who's a Levite. You got a brother who's a certain Samaritan. And you know what I'm saying? The brother from Jericho, the Levite. I mean, the brother from Jericho just walked past him, or basically ignored him. Or he just passed him on the other side. The Levite looked at him, looked on him, but then went on after he looked at him. And a certain man from a certain Samaritan, he the one that took him in and took care of him. Christ asked him, you know, what do you think about these three? Which ones? It's like he said, which one do you think was a neighbor?
Right.
Who was really the neighbor? Like who really the brother? You know, that lawyer is saying, you know, the Samaritan.
Right. Well, the lawyer didn't say the Samaritan.
Right. Well, he says
he said the one who showed him mercy.
Right.
Which of course the Christians don't say is the Samaritan.
Right.
Because of course the second one was who?
The Levite.
Nikamaya, you walk in DC, see somebody inside the road, yes. And he gave me, what was the first one?
Judite or from Jericho. This is a certain brother from a certain person from Jericho. Oh, right.
Who was the first one? It says it.
Priest.
A priest, which means he's a Israelite. Well, we know he's a Levite, but he's an Israelite. The second brother is a Israelite. The third one, they say, he's from Samaritan, right? The Christians is going to say Samaritan because the first two in their mind is Israelites, and this third guy is not an Israelite.
Right.
You gotta go along their thought pattern. That's why Christ said it like this.
Right. Oh God, but he was an Israelite because he followed.
Well, we come into that. But not because he followed the law.
Right.
You can't use that. You're right, but you cannot use that because, of course, the Christians going to show you, Yao Ming, who followed the law. They're going to show you, what's the football guy named, the white boy, who said he never had sex before. He used to be a quarterback. Tim Tebow. Remember Tim Tebow? John 3:16.
Yeah.
He followed the law, so he's a Samaritan too, right? They're gonna pull that for you. You get the point? So this one is a little bit different. All right. Good. So now I'm gonna get that last. Hold on. All right. So first off, give me neighbor. What is neighbor?
Neighbor, your brother. What's that?
Come on. Yeah, come with the precept.
Leviticus 19. Is that 19?
So you gotta pull the precept. All right. This one I want you to answer in with the scripture. All right. As far as you can. Don't do too much paraphrasing. Right. Answer with the scripture. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Exactly. Right? Neighbor and brother interchangeable. Your neighbor is your brother. Any more? I believe too.
Kawakana, sir. Mm-hmm. And not suffer sin upon him. Mm-hmm. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Mm-hmm. But thou shalt love thy neighbor.
So your neighbor is the children of your people.
That's right.
That's supposed to be an end of it right there.
Right.
But we're going to go a little bit further into it because when you get a big-headed Christian,
right,
drown them.
Okay, sir.
Snatch them here, take them all the way to the bottom of the lake and hold them right there.
Right.
Hold them there and let them beat up and let the life leave from them. In the spirit, of course.
Okay.
Drown them. If it's just some regular dude who go to church and misguided, you could teach him, you gotta feed him up. But when you get a nigga like this right here, you drown him.
Okay.
Get the point? Christ took him out there. That's why he said, well, who did it? I'm asking you. Right. The one who showed mercy. He said, well, now you go and do the same. Yeah, why he say you go do the same?
So because at that time they weren't accepting anybody outside of Jerusalem as a brother?
Mm-mm.
Or you just...
Why he tell him, exactly, now you go do the same?
Because he don't care about poor people.
Because he's a big-headed nigga that wouldn't give a damn about nobody else.
Right.
You understand? That's why Christ answered him like that. He said, right, now you go do the same.
Right.
Because he know this same guy who talking to him will not care about a brother laying on the side of the street.
Right.
That's why he used, that's why he used that example. You get the point?
Right.
So you have Leviticus 19, 17, and 18.
Okay.
Boom. Now give me 2 Kings 17. Right? We're gonna start at 1. Give me a good reader. Give me Kagar. 2 Kings 17. Something like that, man. Go something like that.
Verse 1?
Yeah, let's start at 1.
2 Kings chapter 17, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hosea, the son of Eli, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years.
To reign where?
Over Israel 9 years.
To reign where?
So like Samaria.
You see that, right? Reign in DC, right. Reign in New York. He ruled in Samaria. Right. All right, go ahead.
Over Israel 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings over Israel that were before him.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. Against him came up Shalamander, king of Assyria, and Hosea became his servant and gave him presents.
All right. What does that say? What happened? Come on.
So right here, sir, at this time when the kingdom was split into the so-called northern kingdom and southern kingdom, the kingdom of Israel, who was in Samaria, they were sinning against the Lord. And the Lord set up against a heathen king, Shalamander of Assyria, over our people.
And as he's over the people, what happened?
He started to take us out of that land of Samaria, sir.
Before that,
Concept.
come on.
Hosea became his servant. So basically, like, you know, became a wicked leader. Like,
Hosea became a servant, a slave,
sorry.
a prostitute. He became Uncle Tom. Right? You get the point? He had to turn over for this brother. You get me? He had to turn over for this brother. Check that door there. Turn the lights on. All right. Yeah, he became an absolute servant for this king. Right? Keep reading. Keep reading.
Oh, Salaki. Verse 3. Oh, Salaki.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 4. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to so king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
All right, so what happened here? Get somebody else. Barack?
Salaki. I apologize. Salaki. What verse did you go on?
Verse 4. I'll read it again.
Should probably, yeah, go on.
Verse 4. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hosea, for he had sent messengers to so king of Egypt, and brought no presents to the king of Assyria, as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison.
So look, what's the brother name? The king, that king that was over Assyria, that was ruling when the kingdom had split. Pretty much, they was I think it was taxing us so much, or they was that burden.
It just seemed like the king of Assyria was used to getting gifts from a year by year, but Hosea didn't do it this time. But he heard that Hosea had sent messengers of gifts to Egypt, but not to him, to the king of Egypt, but not to him. So he found that strange.
All right, everybody understand that?
Come.
Right? He said he went to sow him, right, with gifts. Sow is like how you sow a seed.
Right.
Like you plant a seed. Like this guy, he was sowing with gifts. And the gift destroyed the heart. That's what he was doing. And he was pleasing the king of Assyria. But then he decided to now go please the king of Egypt. And the king of Assyria did not take kindly to that. And he put him in prison for that shit.
Right.
He said, nah, because you trying to plot against me now.
Right.
You trying to gain allies. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 5. The king of Assyria came up throughout all the land, and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years.
That's like if everybody can get it. Like who's the ally of Russia, China, or
Russia? Well, you have China's ally to Russia. You gotta put it like that.
okay, yeah, that's like if China give gifts to Putin, then all of a sudden they stop sending gifts to Putin and just give all the gifts to America. And then Putin will look at China like, what you doing?
It happened, literally happened. I'll give you one. You look up Georgia, Russia. Right? Georgia, Russia was like a Russian territory under, I think it was just when Putin came in. You could check it out if Gorbachev was in charge still. It was just when Putin came in. Russia, Georgia, Russia was trying to break away from Russian rule. right? At first, they was with Russia. Then they started to take on America's philosophy, America's doctrine, and finally, they said, "F Russia, we gonna break away, and we gonna have this border right here." And they started getting gifts from America, but of course, their gift to America was access. Putin said, "Hell, we ain't having that," and stormed and bombed Georgia, Russia, and made them niggas bow. Say, "We ain't having that shit. We gonna come right back here."
Right.
And that's in Ezekiel 38 prophecy too. Right? But you have those things where somebody gonna try to move in a certain direction. And it's politics. You have to make a political play. But it's up to the other one to now enforce some sort of power.
Right.
And that's what Russia did. Russia went over there. You could go look at footage of it. It happened fairly recent, like maybe 2008.
It was 2010, sir.
2010, somewhere around there. They bombed the fuck out of Georgia, Russia. Excuse me, bombed them, drove tanks over there. Bombed them and forced them back into communism. Get the point? Okay, let's go.
Verse 6. In the 9th year of Hosea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria and placed them in Halah and in Harbor by the river of Gozan and in the cities of the Madas.
All right. So now, where is Samaria?
North of Israel.
It's specifically the capital of the northern kingdom. Right? Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And Jerusalem is the southern kingdom. Right? Samaria is basically the capital of the northern kingdom, where the northern tribes are. Right? Shalmaneser came in there and took the northern kingdom. Took everything. All right? Go ahead.
Verse 7. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God, which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods. Verse 8. And walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from before the children of Israel, and of the king of Israel, which they had made.
Right. So he giving you here the record of why the Lord allowed this to happen. Right. Because of course, Israel in the northern kingdom started following after different gods, right? And different customs and different. She won't come and teach her. Don't worry about it. She's being Eve. Don't worry about it. You're gonna learn, right? Giving you the whole rundown. Let's keep going. Hey, please.
Salaki. I guess Christians don't read verse 7 because this clearly says the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God. Now they say God is for everybody.
Exactly. This is their God. This is not the God of the Egyptians or the Arabs. This is their God, their power. But they don't understand that. They, once again, it's their doctrine. Their doctrine is to love everybody. Why? So you can be a slave, like how this king was a slave to the Assyrian king. Right. It's really slavery. You get what he's gonna say, something? Come on.
I was gonna say I just had a thought when I was dealing with this Christian and showed her that and once you just prove to them that the Lord is for Israel, they'll just shut the Bible and say I don't believe, and they just say I don't believe
in it anyway.
I literally had a Christian open the Bible, close it, and say, well, I don't think the Bible's correct anyway. So
yeah, what we talking about? Right. All right, let's go.
Verse 9. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their God. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city.
All right, what is the high places? We keep reading.
Verse 10. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill.
Groves.
Groves in every high hill and under every green tree.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. And there they burnt incense in all high places, as they did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them. and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger.
All right. So what is the high places they built? Come on.
Talking about making altars, like temples, altars for these.
That's a high place. Not high as in up on a hill.
Right.
But that's where it comes from, because they would always put these things up on a hill. It comes from that. It's like Capitol Hill,
Right.
up on a hill, with altars and places of high esteem.
Right.
Places that are looked at like they're most holy and most right.
Right.
In other words, churches on every corner.
Right.
Mosque on every corner, statues to these idols.
Right.
And they say they built them everywhere. Right? They built, they set up images, which is like your statues and your paintings, and groves. What is groves? That's thunder.
Yeah, constant.
Yeah, come.
Supposed to read it?
Yeah, constant.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna just look up the definition slide.
I'm sorry. Come on, Shapar.
Is that like landscaping?
You're almost there, no?
Yeah, that's right.
You're almost there.
So like I got the definition.
Please.
A small wood orchard or group of trees, an olive grove.
Mm-hmm. A grove is like a garden, like mangrove, right? It's a grove that was dedicated to other gods. What would be an example of a grove today?
So like in Cali, they have the Bohemian Grove, where there's devils.
Let's be a Bohemian grove. Not everybody can go there. There's some other groves. It's closer. That is to other gods.
Like cherry blossom.
Thank you. It's this thing is simple enough. It's real simple. You're in Washington Monument. Right around there.
Right.
What's around the monument? Trees.
Right.
You go down there. What's the other ones that down there? I ain't too good with the GC history.
Memorial.
Jefferson Memorial. That whereby they have a little pool or something, and his memorial have a little dome on top, and around it is trees. Right? Just drive down there at night, and you'll see how many trees is really down there. During the day, it's kind of really hard to notice, but at night, just drive down there in that what's called that area? That southwest area, Canal Road, DC. I just see the amount of trees that's down there where the MLK statue is. It's just trees everywhere because it's a grove. It's really a place of worship. That's what it is. It's really a place of worship. Even when people go down to watch Martin Luther King statue, they don't go down there to look at it. They go down there to touch it and cry and pray. That's what they do. Touch it and cry and take pictures and pray and kiss it. Right. And say thank you to a statue praying to it. Right? Go ahead.
Oh, Salaki. So they call it the mall.
They call it the mall, Salaki, the National Mall. It's a grove. You get the point? It's a grove with statues and things dedicated to the gods of this empire. Right. You get the point? Go ahead.
Verse 12. For they serve idols, whereof the Lord has
Of course,
set.
and in verse 11, they say they like burnt offerings. What's that? The sage is good. Give me something else.
Like the Catholic churches when they light the candles.
Not the candles, but the incense they burn. They do. But that thing comes from us. They try to mimic us. There's something else.
The weed, sir.
The weed. Because now weed legalized where everybody's smoking. On the mall.
Right.
On the mall, go down there on Sunday and see. Everybody just down there, them white boys is just lighting up.
Sir.
Go ahead.
It's heavy you said that, sir. Before it was legalized, it's something about we had to, as a weed smoker, you had to go down. It's almost, it was spiritual. Like, let's go smoke at the monument.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you.
Good night.
They go smoke at the monument. You see them coming up from there all 10, 11 o'clock at night, doing all sorts of whatever else weed make you do. Right? And that's what they do. They have to go there and get high to their gods.
Right.
All right? Go ahead.
Verse 12. For they serve idols, whereof the Lord has said unto them, ye shall not do this thing. Verse 13. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets.
All right, so this is again the Lord beseeching us, begging us to turn from our ways, turn back to Him, obey Him, do what it is He had to do. Because like any father, He get angry. Right? When He get angry, punishment comes. He don't want to do it, but He will do it. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 15. And they rejected His statutes.
Say it again.
Sorry. Verse 14. Notwithstanding, they were not hid, but hardened their necks, like the neck of their fathers. They did not believe in the Lord their God.
Right. So now, how is the Lord telling Israel to turn and repent?
The prophets.
The prophets. So you had men speaking, the priests speaking, stop doing this, stop doing that.
Right.
But they rejected it.
Right.
Bring it just like today. Let me just make it simple, just for time's sake. Just like today, you on the street telling everybody, obey the law. Our oppressor is the devil. Separate from this oppressor. The LGBTQ community is an abomination to the Lord. In the middle of Pride Month, they put BET on TV. And everybody celebrated not black excellence or black entertainment, but LGBTQ. You get the point? We done rejected the Lord, and it's because we done subscribe to these heathens' way of life. Right. We done become the American. Right. We become just like them, do everything they do. We become Romans. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. Right. It's the same thing here. We became like the heathen. We became the Gentiles. Right? Somebody have their hand up? Please.
I had a precept, but it's like not. It's like a future precept, if I quote it. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap of themselves teachers, having itchy ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned into fables.
That ain't future. That's right now. They will heap unto themselves teachers, having itching ears. What does that mean? Come on.
Yes, selective hearing. They hear what they want. Like, they want to follow what they want. Like, they might hear something. They might want to close their ears, or like, when a Christian walk past, they always cover the child's ears, cover their ears, because they don't want to hear what you're saying. They select.
Listen, I'll give you something even simpler. The church you went to is not the church your mother and father went to. And then the church your father grew up in is not the church your mother grew up in. And when they met, they was in one church, but by the time you and your siblings was born, each of you all went to a different church. Why?
Because we going to hear something.
What do they say? I don't like Reverend Dexter no more. He ain't got it. I go over there because I like what he said. I go as simple as that. Right. You don't even have to put us in it because it's obvious they don't like us. Right. It's obvious, right? But in the shit they claim, they don't even like somebody there. Right. If it is, that's the truth. But they have itching ears, meaning their ears is like an itch, and it will only stop itching when they hear T.D. Jakes talk, when they hear Creflo talk. When they hear, what's the one in DC name, boy? Your dog used to know his name. Willie Wilson.
Yeah, I should go to his church.
Your dog say every nigga in DC went to that damn church. Go ahead, God. Confession good pretty soon. Come on with it. You see what boy?
Because I said in class a couple days ago, the preacher was like, they got the nerve to say about homosexuals, but the same people that wear linen and wool. Somebody that have itchy ears, like they pick and choose.
Because of course Willie Wilson, he knows what he had to talk to, what he had to say, right? You had the other one down there by what's the big mega church? It's down there by what's the amusement park?
Six Flags.
Six Flags. These big big ass church. I forget her name. I forget her goddamn name. But she a big time one. And people leave and drive and go there just to even just pull in. Just to pull in there. You drive in there and that thing is, I mean, that's a huge church. And the compound is even bigger. And the statues and, you know what I mean? But they have engineers because that's where they want to go. These are the things we did in our land. Right. When we was in our land. You get the point? Right. So how much more we going to do it here? Right? Keep reading. Somebody else take it from me. All right.
2 Kings, chapter 17, verse 15.
Right. Take the other one from me. Right?
Say again, sir.
Take the other verse.
Who's at verse 15? 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 15. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became vain. And
that's the BT Awards. Yep. BT Awards is a example. It's a show of America, of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people in America today. It's just it's like a portrait of who we are today. You understand? It's a total just a celebration of vomit. Right. And that's who we are today. You get the point? We reject the Lord and his statutes. Right. And to hell with the deal he made with our fathers. We talking about. Right. You get the point? They could go and get this money up there. Right? I have a picture. I want to post the goddamn thing, but goddamn, I'm tired of going to that Facebook prison they got. So they got me traumatized. But that broad named Ari Lennox walking with Lil Nas, and she calls him a beautiful angel. And this nigga will look wearing something that she should be wearing. Right. Brother, I'm gonna just do it. I'm gonna go inside tonight.
Don't slide yourself. So this BET award, it was that bad.
Yeah, I only heard about it because of the general show. I didn't even know it was on. It's a lot.
Right. Yeah, no, I watched the performance. It was crazy. They had the Christian one performance first. Lil Baby and Kurt Franklin got a song together, so that performed first. And the rest was just dumb, like Lil Nas X, he performed again. At the end, he kissed the man at the end. One of the dancers.
And he was in Egypt clothing.
Right, he was in Egyptian clothing. So that's what showed how gay Egypt is.
Right.
And it was just a lot of twerking going on. Every performance. Every performance had 20 female dancers. Sex, twerking all throughout the show.
Yeah.
So, that's just how Captain Chuck was saying, the portrait of how he is now, we just said, we said, damn, Isaac, the promise Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob made.
Yeah, I want this instant gratification. Yeah. That's who we are today. We want that instant thing. That thing where it's just, is she giving it up? I'll take it. He giving it up? I'll take it. Whoever giving it up, I'll take it. You get the point? It's just an instant gratification. It's a hyper-sexualized society. Right. Low moral, absolutely low moral. Right. And just, a spectacle at this point.
It's like, and one more thing, then, of course, Cardi B and Offset, they having their second child. Cardi B is up there performing with Offset with her stomach, she had her stomach covered, it's out, covered in mesh. It's like, you should be sitting down. Why you on the stage?
I mean, that money.
Dancing around with
listen, she ain't doing nothing different. Girls is going to the club with that stuff.
I seen it,
They go into the club, they stripping, they doing that carnival. I'm from the island, they playing that carnival with the baby in there. Some of them take the baby in the straw just like that to the carnival with the loud music. God, don't look at Cardi B, just like is she alone? Once again, that's representing us as a people right now, where we are. And I think they just glorified how they destroyed us. They just totally glorified how far they could make us go.
It's lucky too, if I may, before those performances, Taraji P. Henson went up there and she was talking about how they was going to take back their black culture and be black AF tonight. And then all the performances that followed taking back black culture, as she said, was exactly what I just said, dancing, the stripping on stage, the kissing the man.
Yeah,
but before all of that, Taraji went up there saying we're going to take back black culture tonight. and we're gonna act Black AF tonight.
Yeah, it's down there like right now with our celebrities. They just whores out. There's nobody has any kind of moral compass no more. Nobody has any kind of, you know what, I ain't no. The check good, none of this. Come on.
No, it's like if I may, I said it yesterday in class, but we talking about BET, something that we thought we accomplished, and I didn't see the BET Awards, but Lil Nas X kissing another man on BET. I look at that as Esau mocking us.
Yeah, that's exactly
He's showing
what
the
it is.
success that he did on our people, like how he's basically showing that like this is what he made and he accomplished.
No, I'm telling you straight up. He's saying, "You are my bitch now. Look. Look what I can do.
Yeah.
You can't say nothing to me.
Right.
All this Black Lives Matter and all this marching, all this Black pride. You're my bitch now.
Right.
That's what that BET Awards was.
Yeah.
You know, it was a victory lap, right? It was a victory lap for whoever crafted that plan.
Right.
That now they're able to see today, like, damn, we really did it. Come on, you was gonna say something?
No, that was me. So, I had two things. What was that show that the two little boys? I think the sister was doing the voice for him.
Boondocks.
Yeah.
What
The
is it?
Boondocks.
Boondocks.
Mm-hmm.
They had showed an episode on there one time. Black Eagle Television.
Yeah,
And they came out to be there. Now,
that's when the brother what's his name? Something Johnson, Bob Johnson. That's when he just sold it.
all right.
When he just sold it, everybody was like, "Why the hell are you doing it?" He wanted to say he wanted to get into other things, but he sold it because they needed that vehicle to deliver what it was going to deliver. But it's no, you know what I mean? It's no.
And Salami, you saw the awards. Was they
The performances.
was they like parading the little the gay brother? What's his name? Billy Porter. Was he there?
Who's Billy Porter?
The one who wore the tuxedo dress and then
Oh, that guy.
No, that nigga have AIDS. Like, he going nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all. But
You can't see it.
yeah.
You can't see it. That nigga wish he had COVID.
What they did was when Lil Nas X was performing, they'll switch the camera to the audience,
Right.
but they switch it to the gay audience. Like they had some gay some lesbian producers and writers and lesbian actors and gay actors. So whenever Lil Nas X was performing, they would keep panning the camera to the gay audience, who was just they just and then the gay audience is just dancing to Lil Nas. That's how it went.
It's a lot.
I like
Brother.
if I may, sir.
It's a boy, it's rough. It's a lot.
It's like I said, what you said is so heavy. And okay, we only shot because it's on TV, but this is your average night. Saturday night DC, Saturday night Atlanta, Saturday night Chicago. This is what is going on in the Black community.
Yeah,
this is what's literally happening in your neighborhood.
They done designed our whole life, right?
Right.
They designed it, and it was like a fashion show,
right,
for our life,
right.
That BET Awards, and go ahead. What the hell do I know? You know what I mean? Go ahead and listen to them niggas.
Right.
All right, let's keep going real quick before the time is up. You was reading?
Count for concert. Verse 15. From the top. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. And they followed vanity and became
And they
vain.
followed what?
Vanity.
They followed vanity and became vain, which is what you saw in the BET Awards.
Right.
LGBTQ pride. It's vanity, it's vain. What are you proud about? There's nothing to be proud about. They haven't accomplished anything.
Right.
They haven't done anything significant. They haven't cured nothing. They haven't, fought for anybody. Their pride is because of their vanity. Right? Like a woman who stares into the mirror and admires her face. But of course, she walks outside and she's not so pretty. But to her, she is. Who's mirror on the wall? Who's the fairest of them all?
Right.
That's the vanity today in the LGBTQ community. Right? They think they're they think they're upstanding, respectable people, and they're not.
Right.
They're absolutely not. They're wild, angry, unlawful, undisciplined people who need help.
Right.
Need a ton of help. All right. Keep going.
God will come. And went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them, that they should do, that they should not do like them.
Exactly. Why did the Lord give us these laws in Leviticus and all these other books? To not be like the Egyptians.
Right.
He didn't want us to be like Egypt.
Right.
And we went after Egypt. And here, he was going after these heathens and going after their customs the same way we do it today. We're going after their customs and their culture and not at all adhering to the law. Not at all saying, you know what, I'm going to be separate from this empire. In fact, it's not just going after the heathen and not listening to the Lord. We done gone to the point where we are in fear of going against them and disagreeing with them. At one time, we'd be like, nah, damn that, I ain't doing that, I ain't wearing that. No, you can't, no. Well, I ain't gonna say you can do what you want. That's where it is now. It's at a very low point.
You just tell how Esau conquered us year by year, decade by decade. Because even me as a child, I had parents and grandparents that spoke up against certain things. Whereas so now they keep their mouth shut.
No, nobody ain't saying nothing.
Right. So
whatever little strength that was there is gone. It's absolutely gone. And okay, Esau, our oppressor, he done destroy the next generation. What happens is that older generation get old and they lose. They still have the knowledge that, our oppressor is the devil and the oppression, but they lose the fight. The young generation keeps the fight going. It gives the older generation the courage to speak on certain things. Not everybody in the older generation, but some.
Right.
But now when the youth is destroyed, why even speak? Right. You get the point? Why even speak? And I'm by no means giving the older generation a pass because the young generation failed. Some of that older generation, this is entirely your fault. Some. But then there's some who would speak and would say something because they have the young ones to back them up. But now the youth is, the youth, this next generation here is going to be absolutely horrible. It's going to be absolutely horrible. Let's keep reading quicker, right?
God will come, verse 16. And they left all the commandments of the Lord, their God, and made them molten images, even 2 candles, and made a grove, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven, and served Baal.
So now, here, them 2 calves is what? From Egypt. Right. So the wilderness, it's defiant. To do something like that is in the spirit of defiance. Right. It's, a child, don't do that. And they look at you. Right. And then touch the exact same thing. Right. And now you just have to fall on them to this, if you're a good parent, if you're a horrible parent, you're going to be like, oh, you think you grown. Look at him. You think he grown. And this kid is looking at you like, sucker. Right. Now I got you. You get the point? Right. But that's kids. They do it all the time. And it's a bad child. It's a badly raised child. It's the same thing here, where now we don't get bold and proud in our defiance. And we go create other gods with our own hands to defy the Lord. Right. He had to do something about it. All right. Give me verse 20.
Verse 20. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel.
Read 17.
Verse 17. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire.
All right. Go ahead.
And used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger.
Brother, that's the BT of wars. And that's our life today. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but we so submerged in the culture of these heathens, we're not recognizing who we are. There's no trace of who we are as a people anymore. Right. We're almost gone from the earth with this thing here. 10 more years, brother, and there's, little kids, 10-year-olds going to be getting implants with breasts and shit. You understand? Come on.
And that's why I'm kind of shocked saying it's heavy. Like, he's saying we're not even going to know who we are. That's why the scriptures say, like in Isaiah 30 and 31, us following this oppression will be our confusion.
Hell yeah.
And that's why when Nelly and Nelly's in the gay bar and Nelly's in DC, when a girl got pulled on the steps and everybody was hurt, they thought they were together.
Exactly.
And celebrating pride and the rainbow, but the Lord had to show them, you black.
Exactly. You're not together.
And that was a confusion. It was like, yay! And then, the record scratched a black person's arm. And oh, wait a minute, what's going on? And now for the past 3 weeks, they've been in front of every Friday, they're standing in front. They section on the block on Nelly's, and it's hundreds of black people doing electric slide and protests for Nelly's.
Exactly, and because once again, this LGBTQ community is so, what's the word? Fluid is one word. They're so say again?
Influenced.
Not influenced. They're so ambiguous.
Yeah.
They don't have a real shape or a name or a title. If she had gotten dragged down the stairs on Park on 14th Street, that bouncer face would have been all over the place. He'd have been labeled sexist, a woman beater, Me Too, stop violence against women.
Yep.
But because the LGBTQ is an entity, what is it? You can't charge them with shit.
Right.
You understand? A woman beater, well, that bouncer today identified as a woman, so it's a woman on woman crime. You understand how far it could go? Like that's why it's two men dragging down the stairs.
Right.
Drag this girl down the stairs, expose all kind of shit. There was no outcry for domestic violence. There was no outcry for protect our women.
Right.
There was none because you can't charge this thing because what the hell is it? You get the point? It's so, it's just so everything. It's Babylon.
Right.
It's confusion. And that's why it has to go. But it's going to get worse. You think little Nas is bad? Go back in 10 years and let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be a full orgy in that BET stage. With Beast on the side. With his beast, her beast, it beast.
Right.
Them, she, he, and hers beast on the side. Come on.
I was going to say, the white man's so crafty with his words. Now I understand why he called America the land of the free. It just simply means free from God's law.
That's it. That's free really to do whatever you want to do.
Right.
Just do it. Just do whatever, anywhere, anytime. Just do it. But then you don't fall into anything. You just wherever, as long as the slaves show up food.
Right.
That's the only thing that can't be free. The slaves have to show up.
Yep.
All right, let's keep going. All right, where we
Come. We'll read it verse 17.
Read 17 one more time.
Verse 17. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire and use divination and enchantments and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger.
You understand? That's what's going on now. Like the Lord is not somebody to provoke her because the Lord ain't no bully. The Lord is very patient and gives time and takes a lot of bullshit from us. But he's not somebody that we should provoke.
Right.
And what's going on with us right now is absolutely provoking the Lord.
Right.
And he's going to do something that you're going to beg for mercy, but it's going to be too late.
Right.
It's just think a father who had enough. And he just, everybody getting trashed now.
Yep.
And you just remember when you was young, and you're like, well, I didn't even do nothing. That don't matter. You're in the house.
Right.
You're alive, nigga. Shit. You don't catch this belt.
Yep.
You get the point? That's how the Lord gonna roll through. Go ahead.
Verse 18. Therefore, the Lord was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
Go ahead.
Also, Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel,
Right.
and afflicted them and delivered them into the hand of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight.
Right. You could also use this precept for anybody who is dividing tribes.
Right.
Or how to put this? putting tears amongst Israel. When I say tears, not tears like the wheat and the tears, but tears like steps. Like, where, like that. Like tears like, I'm up here, so I'm better.
Right.
You down here, so you worse.
Right.
We getting punished all together, nigga.
Yeah.
So you could be all the way up here if you want, but we getting beat together.
Right.
You get the point? That's what this here proves. Like there's once a family falls, a family falls.
Right.
That's just it. The family fall. And you could be as upstanding and proud as you goddamn want. You could be the only righteous son. You're going to fall because all your brothers is done fell.
Right.
You're going to get depressed. You're going to wake up one day and say, what the hell does it matter? And sniff a whole flour bag of Coke.
Right.
And just be like, why? What am I doing all this for? I've done my whole family for. Right. This is this here. You get the point? This is the proof that we get punished together and we're going to get blessed together. Right. There's no separating. You get the point? Go ahead.
God will come. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel and afflicted them.
21.
Say again.
21.
For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam the son of Nebat king. And Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin.
All right. So now he rent Israel from the house of David. You know what that is? He's saying he split the kingdom in two. Israel being the 9.5 tribes, the house of David, which would be the 2.5 tribes. This specify the house of David because that's where the kings come from. Right. He split the kingdom in two. And then, of course, the northern kingdom, they made who? Was this Jeroboam? Right? And they made Jeroboam king. And Jeroboam, when he said he drove Israel away, meaning Jeroboam went full tilt into disobeying the Lord. Right. Full tilt with no remorse, just went full into it. All right, go ahead.
Verse 22. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants, the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
All right. So now this is the, and of course this is Solomon's punishment. Right. This was Solomon's punishment for taking all them strange women and building altars to their gods, because of course some East Indians said other than him and wine good. You should be able to worship Krishna, because that thing you got there is godly. Get the point? Solomon sinned against the Lord, and the Lord said, I'm not going to take the kingdom from you, but I'll take it from your son. You get the point? And this is what happened. And it would definitely pain any father to see something like this happen. All right. So now he removed Israel, right, and carried them away to Assyria. All right. Let's keep reading.
Come on, verse 24.
Somebody else take it, because I'll take it from there.
Come on, God. Verse 24. And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
Right, so they brought these heathens in, right? They brought these heathens, and I believe these is Hamite cities, and placed them in Samaria, which is the northern kingdom, instead of the children of Israel. Right, go ahead.
And they possessed Samaria, and dwelt in the cities thereof. Verse 25. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there, that they feared not the Lord. Therefore, the Lord sent lions among them, which slew some of them.
Right. So even as they go in there, they even get, they being heathens, they doing what the hell they want to do. The Lord sent beasts to destroy them. Right. Right. So now I'm a Christian, you pull this, a Christian gonna say what? Well, listen, the Lord took them out of Samaria and brought in other people. So that's the proof that the Samaritan is a heathen. And he just had to be merciful to Israel and they could come in, right? It's wrong. So you're going to see some more here, what happened, right? Keep reading. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations with which thou hast removed, and placed in the cities of Samaria, know not the manner of the God of the land. Therefore, he hath sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the God of the land. Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the God of the land. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Howbeit, every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places, which the Samaritans had made, every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth-Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal.
Right? So now, because they was so vile in the land, the Lord just couldn't stand them. He sent lions to kill them. Right. They begged Israel to send back priests. And they would tell you, I forget what the precept is. I'm trying to remember it by the end of the class. You know what, Nehemiah? I think they took priest of Gad. I think it's Gad and Manasseh. They took them and brought them back into that land. They were the ones who stayed there, right? From these people who they brought back, that's who would be a Samaritan in Luke 10, not the heathens who is there. You get the point? Okay. That's why it says to love your neighbor, because that was an Israelite they brought back in there to show the people what to do in the land, because they wasn't doing nothing, and the Lord was. Remember, this is our land. At the end of the day, you get the point. Okay. That Samaritan is not a heathen. That Samaritan was from the lineage of those people who they brought back. One of the priests. There's an actual precept that is priest of God and somebody else. Right? Say again? It could be. I definitely know it's one of them Native Indian tribes. All right. So that would be who would be there. You get me? And from in Luke 10. That Samaritan, that's why he says what? The first one was a priest. The second one was a Levite. The third one a Samaritan. And of course, they didn't know the history of Samaria. Remember the woman at the well? Right? Pull that for me, John 4. Give me John 4 and 16.
We finished with Luke.
We're gonna go back just to read one more, but give me John. Pull John 4, I believe 16.
The book of John, chapter 4, verse 16. Jesus saith unto her, go.
Skip up some more.
Come.
Skip up to when she came to the well.
Let's see.
7.
Verse 7. Come. The book of John, chapter 4, verse 7. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus says unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were going away unto the city to buy meat.
Right. So this woman, she's of Samaria. You get the point? She is a heathen. This is a Hamite woman. She's a heathen. Right? She is not an Israelite. Right? She later goes on to say it. Give me verse 9.
Verse 9. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans.
Right? Because them Samaritans is the ones they brought back in. You get the point? The heathens they brought back in. And she knows she is from them people. She knows she's not from the priests that they brought after. All right? Hold on. What she said with our fathers? Give me 20.
Verse 20. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. Jesus said unto her, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet in Jerusalem worship the Father.
Exactly. That she's saying our fathers worship in this mountain in Samaria, but the mountain is in Jerusalem, Mount Sinai. And he's saying, yeah, you ain't go worship in this mountain or in Jerusalem because she's an actual heathen. Right. You get the point? Okay. The Samaritan in Luke 10 is talking about the brothers who was brought back into the land. It's not talking about the heathens like her who came in there. Now the Christian gonna say at that point, well, why did Christ say it like that? Give me Isaiah 28 and 10, and give me Matthew 13 and 3. In fact, give me Matthew 13 and 3 first.
Keep on this one, sir.
Nah, we good with that.
Matthew 13 and 3.
Yeah.
We got the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the way.
13 and 3.
13. Yeah, come. The book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, in parables.
In parables. Right? Christ spoke in parables all the time. What's a parable?
Also, like I said, if I made metaphors.
Metaphors. I'll take that. Anybody else? Proper definition. Parable. Analogy. I'll take that. Give me a definition. Parable.
Parable. A simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson as told by Jesus in the Gospels.
Anything else?
Let's see. Parable in the Webster's Dictionary. A usually short, fictitious story that illustrates a moral attitude or a religious principle. Also, that's the end of that.
Right. It's a story, usually a short story. It's fictional, but it's supposed to be used as a teaching tool for something else. You get it, boy? It's a teaching tool for something else. It's a parable. You get it, boy? So now Christ spoke in parables for certain reasons. Give me verse 10.
Verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables?
Right? Like everybody. Why you talking like that? Say it plain. Right? They're asking, why are you speaking to them in parables? Go ahead.
Come. Verse 11. He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Mm-hmm. But to them it is not given.
Right? Because the power is given to you. You are given to straight. But them, I'm going to speak in parables. I'm not giving it to them straight. Why?
It's not for them.
Okay, I'll take that answer too. There's another answer.
Christ wanted to punish them.
That's going along the same with what he's saying. That's true. And we go into that just now. But there's another answer. You and him have the same answer.
So like you saying, why did Christ talk to them in parables? To cut them.
It's kind of going along with what he's saying. It wasn't for them and he wanted to punish them. It's something else. Why he spoke to them, as I just said a little while ago, why he spoke to the disciples direct and the people in parables. Just said it.
So they needed the spirit to understand it.
Because they weren't Israelites?
There was Israelites. There was Israelites he teaching, but he's speaking to them in parables. But he giving the disciples straight. He's teaching them.
I'm going back to Luke when he spoke to the parables because he was like, once they understand it, you go forth and do what you. He's telling them to go do it if you understand it.
So then why is he talking to them in parables but the disciples direct?
So because they're like the Samaritans.
Okay, you talking to the disciples straight because the disciples was already doing the work with him?
Man, smart.
What do you mean?
They trying to catch him up on something, man. He just like sarcastic.
That's true, but that's more what you were saying first. He don't want them to get it so he could punish them. And that's a real valid reason. That's in the Bible too. There's another reason that's in the Bible.
Well, we going back to the Luke. When Christ had said, "Well, you go do the same thing. They don't care about it." Christ was talking to them in parables because, Christ was talking to the disciples direct because they were going to go and do it. The other ones,
something else. I said it when I first asked the question. I'm gonna give it to you for time's sake. Christ wanted to give the disciples power. That's why. Because if anybody had to learn the direct thing, who they was going to. He talking in parables, so they ain't gonna learn it from him.
Right.
Who they had to go to?
Disciples.
They had to go on his side. What he just said there.
Right.
And then they look up and Christ go ahead. And he started breaking it down. So they go to him. He's giving his men power. He giving them the mystery. The people now it's the people. The people have to come to his men to get understanding. He's giving his brothers power. You understand? That's what he's doing. In addition to that now, whoever don't go to his men, why? Why don't they go to his men?
They truly don't they truly don't care about what he's saying or truly don't care about change.
That's true too. That's one way. Just think UPK.
To try to justify themselves. The arrogance. It's like
they're arrogant, but why they not going to the men?
Because it's like you're not the only ones with the truth type deal.
Not that one.
No, they're just like, well, no, I want to talk to you.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to these niggas.
I want to talk to you.
Okay. Let's load up.
Right.
If he don't want to talk to you, and you in here, you putting in the work, you changing your life, and he can't respect that, then he's not getting anything from me.
Right.
You get it? That is giving the power to these men, and they now have to come to these men to learn. You get it, boy? That's what it is. And if they don't want to talk to his disciples, well, no problem, Negro. You just learn as a baby. That's all. You just come back in the kingdom and you learn then. You can learn now or you can learn then.
Right.
You get it, boy? Right. Give me Isaiah 28:10.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people.
All right. So with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to these people. We learn it in English, we learn it in French, in Spanish, not in Hebrew. And that's what's going on now. Precept on precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. That's how you learn. You ain't gonna learn no other way the Bible, because the Bible is damn near a whole parable. It's, you're not gonna understand it reading it straight through.
Right.
You'll have to be taught it. Right? Keep going.
Verse 12. To whom he said, this is the rest, wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshment. Yet they would not hear.
Right? This is the rest, how you cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing, but they won't hear. They won't listen. They won't sit and learn. They're full of pride, like the lawyer in the beginning. Full of pride. He want to justify himself. He's full of pride, and that's why he got that parable of the Good Samaritan. He got that parable. If you hear, you're gonna be refreshed. If you understand, you're gonna get rest. If not, you're gonna be caught up in the world and be like Lil Nas. You get the point? You're gonna be right there with everybody else because you're not listening. You don't want to hear nothing. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 13. But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken.
Right? That's what you would say. Right? That's why another reason why he's talking in parables, so that if you don't hear, you're going to fall back. Falling back mean what?
You're going back to your old ways.
You're going to leave. You're going to roll. You're going to roll out. You at the camp, you listening to something, you hear something wild. You ain't hear it because you ain't stated for the understanding. And you roll, that's what he wanted.
Right.
So you can't say I didn't tell you. I did tell you. But you didn't want to listen. You fall back. Read again.
Verse 13. But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backwards and be broken.
Fall backwards. They done left up off of it, and they're broken and trapped and snared.
Right.
And that's our people today.
Right.
Just broken and trapped and snared and don't understand a goddamn thing what the hell is going on. How much people getting lawyers now to fight them PPP loan cases?
Right.
You get the point? When if you was in here, you'd have got counsel, brother, you ain't got no business. What the hell is you doing?
Right.
You understand? But you out there, listen, them niggas wild and crazy. They're on the street yelling, and you go for that PPP loan. Now what you do? Now look at it. You get the point? Like it's so much where the wisdom you're gonna get is gonna change the course of your life because you're heading in a direction that's going to destroy it. Come on.
It'd be so crazy and straight up. Sometimes, that's why you just gotta have patience, even with your family members. Like I recently just had a person stay with me because her and her dude was going with her, and she actually got hit by her dude before.
Mm-hmm.
So he's starting to act more aggressive, and she feels he's going to do it again. But as she's staying with us, she's related to my rib. She told my rib, I don't know if I can be in having the same relationship. Like submit myself to a man, this and that. But look at your sister's life. It's beautiful. She ain't getting hit on.
It's a lot.
And she go back. And then look, she went right back home 2 days later to the same abusive man.
Right.
And it's like, and then the next day, I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna leave. Like your life is in shambles and in hell.
That's why she getting beat. That's why she getting beat. I'm telling you straight up. And she said, she don't know if she can submit to whatever he's doing. She's not looking as to say, what am I doing?
Right.
That's causing that shit.
Right.
She's not looking at that at all. And for anybody who online from the Me Too crew, I'm not saying you don't deserve it, but it's a lot. You're made for each other, right?
Right.
A boxer is not without the punching bag. Yeah. He needs it. He said, wow. You want me to do what? Listen, you would entertain the same thoughts if you was trapped in a room with her and him out.
Right.
That's what you ought to realize. Some of these brothers is more victim than damn predator.
Right.
You trapped in there, you don't know what the hell to do, and you just can't take it. Silence for 2 seconds. And then the sirens come, but he get 2 seconds of silence. And it was good enough for him. It's good enough for him. What you want? You don't know no better. You told him, come on, let's go, when he was by the table at camp trying to get a goddamn flyer. What are you listening to them beggars for? You want to be like them? You ain't got to be like them. You so and so and blah, 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 blah. Let's get a minute of silence. You know what I mean? It's like good.
It's like Joel Ortiz had a question.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I run a very well-known nightclub in South Beach, Miami. Can I still be accepted as a Hebrew Israelite if my bread and butter is just business?
Hell yeah. Is it a strip club or is it a nightclub? If it's a strip club, then you're going to have to, you definitely have to change that shit. Is it a strip club or a nightclub? All right? A nightclub is not unlawful, and you could come up in here and learn how to be a righteous man. All right? How to be a righteous man. Give me that in the Apocrypha. As a man is, so is his city. Give me that, please. What you really want, once the business is a lawful business, lawful by the Lord and lawful by the laws of the land. That's the first thing. Outside of that, it's really you being a righteous man. That's what's going to dictate what you are. You could have a bakery as a business. If you are corrupt, greedy, disgusting sinner, you're going to sell crack out the damn bakery. That's it. You're going to have a brothel underneath the bakery. You get the point? your righteousness is going to dictate how you do business, because that's going to be your moral compass. You're going to be able to stop and say, nah, all money ain't good money.
Right.
You understand? All money ain't good money. That's not coming up in here. I'm not doing that. I'm not destroying my people. I'm not doing X, Y, Z. You get the point? Who got the scripture?
I got the scripture. So he said nightclub, sir.
Regular nightclub. What you want to do, Joel Ortiz? He said he in where? What city he in?
South Beach, Miami. Sir.
Okay, that's where the club is. Is that where he's at? What's your location, the priest? The priest, Salaki, brother. What's your location? Exactly where are you? I know the nightclub is in Miami, but where exactly are you?
I got the scripture in the meantime.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
Right? As the judge of the people are himself, so are his officers. Any more? Go ahead.
And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all that they that dwell therein.
Exactly. Brother, if you're a sinner, you're going to have a sinful house. If you're an absolute sinner, you're going to have a sinful house. Which is how you know what. On topic, just sidebar. You know, I'm just testing you all. What can you use this for today? This might be the last day you can use it.
Oh, sorry, sir. Just gay pride.
How are you using it?
If you got gay activities going on in your house, or you be doing it outside your house, but you bringing it all in there, so
maybe the leaders are also homosexual. Maybe the leaders of this place, people who are in charge, they have to be also gay, because as a man is, so is his city.
Okay.
Muriel Bowser, Yvette Alexander, I'm giving you just them DC people. Right. You can take this anywhere, any city. You get the point? Wherever they're at. You're flying that rainbow, it's because you're doing something else too.
Right.
You get the point? I went to one of my daughter's graduation. These two teachers get up after they done give everybody their certificate. And they one honoring the next one, two females, right? She said, hold on, wait. I just want to honor you because I couldn't do this without you. You have been my friend, my, they use their words, my compadre, my partner, my this, my that. And the bond we share. Now I'm thinking of some super sisterhood shit. This bro said, the bond we share is as strong as me and my husband. I said, what? What in the COVID virtual learning is going on in this goddamn school? Brother, I mean, people clapping shit, and I'm like, what she putting in you that your husband putting in you? Because that's the only thing that could create that strong bond. Right. It ain't math.
Right.
Like, what the hell is going on? I don't know no woman who have a as strong as a husband. What the fuck is he talking about?
Right.
And people is like, oh, and they're clapping, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit? Yeah. Like, y'all is so far gone.
Right.
Hey, what? The husband called for a divorce immediately. What is this bitch doing to you that I ain't doing? Goddamn.
You sound like you might be the only one in there that was alive at that moment.
Brother, I'm on the phone now. I'm just, okay, good. My next daughter here next to me, we talking, but I'm listening. He say, yeah, the bond is as strong. And she paused. She said, and I just want everybody to know, the bond between me and Miss So-and-so is as strong as the bond between me and my husband. I said, what? And then everybody started clapping, and you hear the awes. Yeah. I'm like, brother, what the fuck is this going on? No wonder nobody could have learned up in that goddamn class. Y'all flirting. Right. Y'all flirting through the whole goddamn school. Right. Anyway, Salaki, let's keep going. So the brother said, go ahead.
He said he's in Hollywood, Florida, but he's moving back to South Beach in a few weeks.
No sweat. We're going to get the number to Florida. Take the number for Florida, all right? You call the school in Florida and get in the UPK. And brother, I'm going to tell you straight up, try to go anywhere else, and that club is going to turn into a strip club, and a cokehouse overnight. You come up in here and learn the straight and narrow way from Commander General YAHANNA and his officers, right? Because as a man is, so is his city. This is a righteous house, right? Because this is where correction happens. Right. This is where correction happens. That's what makes us perfect. Right. And that's why Christ said, be ye perfect, because Christ was about correction. Right. He was about checking and the zeal of judgment. This is what happens in here. You're going to be made right. You're going to get, what you need so you can walk upright. All right. Give me who are looking for? Hold on. Florida. 561-633-8313. 561-633-8313. All right. You call the number. I.S.U.P.K. Florida. Get in class religiously. Get in class religiously, brother, so you can learn how to handle that situation down there, brother. Having a nightclub that's especially as an Israelite, that's that ain't you're not unlawful by doing it. You get the point? And you can become absolutely right by coming in here and getting righteous teaching, so that no nonsense goes on up in that club. You know what I mean? You come up in here, you see how that thing gonna turn around for you. All right. What was that? We good with that? That's it. That's what we want to do. Any more questions? He said, "Thank you, brother." No sweat, brother. Any more questions? Give me 1 Peter 1-on-1, James 1-on-1 too. All right. Any questions online? Just let me know. Okay. Give me 1 Peter 1-on-1, James 1-on-1. All right. So now that you understand, okay, that's the Samaritans, that's the Gentiles. That's where you're gonna get the good Samaritan from. He was an Israelite. The woman from Samaria was not an Israelite. There's a difference between the Gentiles. You get the point? There's an absolute difference between the Gentiles. We get 1 Peter 1-on-1, James 1-on-1. Also give me the Bible dictionary. We don't have the big one. No? Let me get the Bible dictionary. Let me get Hellenist. The Bible dictionary. All right? You get 1 Peter 1-on-1, James 1-on-1.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galilee. Is that right?
Galatia, sir.
It's like Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia.
Hold proper. It's splitting out. Scroll.
And Bithynia, elect.
Read it again from the top.
1 Peter chapter 1, verse 1. Peter, an apostle.
All right, why do you grab that up, please?
It's too small.
Oh, shit. All right, no, so hold that book tight, please. All right? It's splitting out the spine. No sweat. Go ahead,
Peter, an apostle of Jesus Christ, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia.
Right? This is Peter to the strangers that was scattered, all right? Give me James 1-on-1, right? This is proof here that the Gentiles in the New Testament are mainly talking about the children of Israel. I'm mainly talking about those 9.5 tribes who was carried away, and later the house of Judah, which is Judah, Benjamin, and his fellows, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which were then taken away as well. All right? All the whole nation then become Gentiles, not heathens, but different. All right? Give me James 1-on-1, somebody else.
James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of God and the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Right? The 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Read it again from the top.
James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of God and the Lord Jesus Christ, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
Right, that's what this letter was for. To the 12 tribes scattered abroad, not the heathens. You understand? The 12 tribes, what? Scattered where? Scattered in the same place we just read in Peter. In Galatia, and Cappadocia, and Pontus, and Corinth. Right? That's where we were scattered. The Corinthians were heathens. They were Gentiles. We became Gentiles because we adopted their culture.
Right.
We adopted their Greek culture. It's similar to this. Them NBA players who play for the Bucks, the big old African. What's his name?
Giannis.
The last name. I come from. Right? That's his last name. Ante something kum. Right? He is what? What do they call him?
The Greek freak.
Do they call him the African freak? Why not?
He's from Greece.
But he's African though. That's a Nigerian name, I believe. Right? He's an African. Why do they call him the Greek freak? Because he grew up in Greece, right, and has the name. Giannis is a Greek name. The other brother have a super Greek name too. Thanis is a Greek name. Right, the third one, they all have Greek first names. Super Greek first names because they grew up Greek. Even how they talk. There's some kind of slightly robotic down like Schwarzenegger. Right? Because they grew up Greek. But they Hamites are. They're absolute Hamites, but they call them the Greek freaks. Now, does that mean they're white people? Hell no. They're Africans who lived in Greece. And we're not African, but I'm using that as the example to show that when you live amongst a people, you take on their culture. You take on their customs. Come on.
Right. Just like last week when you had us to look up the top 10 richest athletes.
Right.
The thing which is funny is in that Forbes magazine, it lists the numbers, but it lists the nationality too, right beside their name. So it lists Brazil, Ireland, and all that.
Right.
For LeBron and who was the other guy? LeBron and Dak Prescott. It says America.
America.
Your nationality, you're American.
Exactly. That's it. Isn't he? The other one, that football player named Messi. He's from Argentina, but he's a white boy. He's Italian. You get the point? But they'll have him down there as if he's from South America. It's you taking on the culture of the people because you live there. All right. Give me Hellenist in the Bible dictionary. Right. That's a shortened definition. You get that big Bible dictionary. You may have the check in this red bag here, can't buy and see if there's a big one in there. The expanded version. Go ahead.
Hellenists, Jews who made Greek their tongue.
Say it again.
Jews who made Greek their tongue.
Jews who made Greek their tongue. Right? It's specific for Jews. Right? A Jew who made Greek their tongue, meaning these brothers and sisters who were born Israelites, who were born from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, now took on Greek customs and Greek ways of life and Greek haircuts and Greek clothing and Greek, holidays and Greek, culture. Everything just like today. Just like today. I see that damn BET carpet, boy. I'm like, even the dress code is just a failure. Even the dress code is a failure. I'm like, what the hell is they wearing? That same skinny broad we was talking about at camp. Coily Ray.
Right.
She coming out, stop shaving her for her skinny body. Bitch, ain't nobody care about your size. You're naked.
Right.
That's what they're shaving you for. You're showing off shit. You ain't got nothing. Just put some goddamn clothes on. Right. Put some clothes on and don't look like rags, and you just look like a homeless person.
Right. And they were what Chloe Billy had on, they weren't even fashion. They were just like a netted dress or a black gate dress. It was just her. She basically just had. Imagine if she just had on a dress made out of a gate. So you just see all through her.
All through everything.
You see everything. She's got bra panties under it.
See, it's rough.
It's not even fashion.
It's not fashion, but this is the Greek culture.
Right.
This is the Greek culture, and that's who we are. We are the Hellenists today. We done made America our tongue. Right. We done made them who we are, our spirit, our moral compass for what's right and wrong is based on them. Come on.
No, and it's so crazy because, like I said before, when I was younger, in the 90s, your aunt, your mother, your grandparents spoke different than they spoke now. Mm-hmm. And even people that got children like myself, like this generation, like we got my generation, we have children now.
Right.
We allowing stuff that we know damn well our grandparents or parents wouldn't let fly back when we was kids.
Right.
So like we just like how you saying like our moral compass as the years go by, we're not even caring about what our fathers taught us in the past.
Exactly. No. Some of the stuff we let go, I could definitely say for sure, is because some of the stuff from the older generation was just downright destructive.
Yeah. Right.
You know, some of that stuff, you just have to throw that in the trash because it's destructive. But for real, the other things that's, you know, would keep us society, you know, we don't get let go of it because we don't become Greeks in this place. Any more on that, Kagar?
And with it often adapted Greek ideas and practices.
And say it with it what?
And with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices.
And with that Greek tongue, we often adopted Greek ideas and practices. Greek ideas and practices. So what you have coming out of people's mouth today and what they think, you know, I'm an individual. I think for myself. No, you don't.
Right.
You think in Greek. You think like an American.
Right.
You understand? You think like an American. Everything about you is American. Even the standard is American. It's the same sister I was just talking about. I don't think I could submit to a man because blah, 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 blah. But you submit to the white man.
Right.
She submit all the way to the white man. Whatever Zaddy says goes.
Right.
You get the point? It's you're just American. You're absolutely just American in your thinking. And that's why you're getting punched.
And
it's hard to say, but sloppy.
It's ridiculous. It's like you know, the wife to the school that told me wisdom to question people, and they question, get answered out of them. She has a actual, I forgot the law said like when you got to restrain somebody. That
a restraining order, stay away order.
There was it's another word or another thing that she got against him. Basically, he not supposed to be around.
Protectable.
But of course, Eve, they don't. That's not that they don't hate you. You do something they don't like, they want to call master.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to really fully separate from you. So he's in the house with her, having sex with her, and with a order against him.
I could have totally got that. I already knew that was
going
going
on. He's supposed to be in the house.
She just come over there when she unclean or to catch her breath.
Right.
She going back over there for the Olympic marathon of Rod. That's what she coming back for until she says something out of her mouth that is pissing off or whatever. And the thing goes south. You getting beat because you're American.
Right.
He's beating you because he's American.
Right.
You can't submit because you're American. This is what Americans do to each other. I ain't saying nothing weird. I ain't saying nothing wrong. You look at Americans, that's what they do to each other. You get the point? That's what the Greeks do. When you're in Rome, do as the Romans. That's what they do. You don't want it to happen, don't be a Gentile. Somebody give me Hosea 8 and 8. Go ahead.
The biggest dictionary is not in the red bag.
Don't sweat it. I'm good with that, Kagar. Too. You can hand it back to me too. Give me Hosea 8 and 8.
Book of Hosea, chapter 8,
Hold on
verse.
There's a brother.
Sure, I'm going to send it to you right now, sir. It should be there. It probably taking a while because it's a new channel. And so it probably load on in the listing. But it's definitely there. Calm down. All right, no sweat. No sweat. Yeah, think of that. All right. Who's this? The brother from Florida?
No, that's Cassie.
Oh, no sweat. Yeah, switch up. What's going on now? All right. Give me Hosea 8, please.
Hosea chapter 8, verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles.
Say it again.
Israel is swallowed up.
Israel is what?
Swallowed up.
Mm-hmm.
Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein no pleasure.
Right. Now shall we be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein there is no pleasure. And isn't that how we are today? Isn't that who we are? We swallowed up. We all the way enveloped in them. You can't see us. You can't separate us at this point. There's no separating us. Even at one point, the sports was, the last of our identity when they had the braids and the bad clothes, the sports gear. Now you see them brothers walking in the arena. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you niggas? Wrong? What the hell? That famous scene where LeBron gets fed up with the questions and get up and put his shades in the purse and pick the purse up and walk out like a brother. And the suit is shorts. Right. What is you doing, Negro? Like how could you even go there? But because we are a people, we don't get swallowed up by these heathens. We don't get swallowed up by our oppressors. And we are absolutely not desired. Read it one more time.
Hosea chapter 8, verse 8. Mm-hmm. Israel is swallowed up. Now should there be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. Right now they shall be among the Gentiles as a vessel where there is no pleasure. And that's how we are. And there's no pleasure in us. As much as they pay Lil Nas to do that, there are oppressors who watching that and despise that. Right. They would have loved to see Justin Bieber up there instead. Right. Because of course now they don't get their rights passed. You get the point? In us, there's absolutely no pleasure. No pleasure from us. And they're doing it, but they don't really want to see us up there. Right. They want us destroyed. And this is just, a means to an end. So they do it. Any more? Keep reading. Come. Verse 9. For they are gone up to Assyria. For they are what? They are gone up to Assyria. A wild ass alone by himself. Mm-hmm. Ephraim have hired lovers. Mm-hmm. They are going up to Assyria. A wild ass alone by himself. Meaning what? We going down to our oppressor. We going to them and begging them for love and acceptance. You get the point? Yeah. And we done hired lovers. What does that mean? We willing to pay and sell out for favor. Right? Lil Nas and Latifah and whoever else was up there pushing the agenda to be accepted. You get the point? Danny Glover talking about stuff Asian hate. We done gone and hired lovers now. Go ahead. Verse 9. For they are gone to verse 10. Yea, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them. Do they have what? Yea, that they have hired among the nations, now I will gather them. Mm-hmm. And they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. Right. Though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them. That's how you know these Gentiles are talking about in the New Testament is Israelites, because he's gathering us from among those heathens. You get the point? He's gathering us from among those oppressors. He's gathering us from among the Assyrians, from among the Americans, the French, the British, the Spanish, the Italians, whoever else we done been oppressed by and colonized by. He's gathering us from amongst them. You get the point? Any questions? We're good with that. Everybody understand the Gentiles, right? Any more questions online? So we'll just check it for me. Let me know. Any more? I know Ortiz replied. Any more in the room? We good?
I don't see nothing, so I'm looking at it.
No sweat. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Arawa.
I.S.U.P.K. security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10. Means 10th in Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. The next high holy day is the memorial of blowing of trumpets. The first day of the 7th month. That's on a Monday, September 6, 2021. You can find this in the book of Leviticus 23. The book of Leviticus chapter 23, 24th verse, and the 25th verse. Also, the I.S.U.P.K. upcoming cookout events. The first one is held in Chicago, which is July 21st to the 25th. The second one is in New York, August 19th to the 21st. The third one is in Texas, October 7th through the 10th. The fourth one is Las Vegas, November 11th to the 14th. And the last one is Florida, December 2nd to the 6th. Remind Akim and Akwavium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and materials. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, you should start wearing all black, which includes black boots, black shirts, black pants, black headbands, and or scarf. With that, you could end. Okay. Give one courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel.